Alright, so I went over everything with a sander and then I wiped it down with acetone, and I'm fixing to go ahead and prime everything that's going to get the spray paint. And I'm just using a can of this stuff. This is Rust-Oleum primer. It's a 2-in-1 filler and it's sandable. So I'm hoping to get maybe 2 or 3 coats of this. I got 3 cans, and then I can go ahead and sand it down before I'm ready to paint it. But I'll go ahead and do this today. So now we have a gray boat, at least on the outside and parts of the inside. Next step is to wet sand it. I'm gonna wet sand it with something really light, like maybe some 800, because I don't want to take much paint off. I just want to kind of slick it up a little bit, and then wash it down and prep it for the final coat of paint. All right, I've been kind of neglecting the little John boat build here lately. I just really ain't felt like messing with it, to be honest with you. But I'm gonna do some things today, maybe the next couple of days. I've decided to go ahead and paint the inside where it's going to be gray. I know earlier in the video I said that I was going to wait until I painted the outside of the boat and then go back and paint it gray, but I think it would probably be easier just to go ahead, paint it now, then tape it off, versus having to run a straight line down it and having to go over the overspray, because I don't think that gray doesn't cover very well. So I think that would be my best option, and that's what I'm gonna do today. It's been sitting here for a while, so I'm gonna go ahead and wipe it down with some acetone and then get a couple of coats on the inside. I got 2 coats on the sides. Turned out alright. It's got a couple sags in it, but this is just to throw in the back of your truck boat, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. It turned out alright. Alright, next step will be wet sanding this thing, getting it ready to paint. Alright, getting close to being ready to paint this thing. Today I'm going to go ahead and wet sand it, and I'm just going to use 800. I think that'll be fine. It's not like I did any body work to this or anything. No really bad spots, and also it's not like I'm trying to get some kind of show quality paint either. 800 should be fine. I don't want to use anything bigger than that because I don't want sanding scratches, and also I don't want to knock all the primer off. It's just about a coat and a half maybe of primer on this thing. Primer didn't go as far as I thought it would. So I'm going to go ahead and wet sand it, and then once everything's dry I'm going to go ahead and start taping off the inside. And that green blob behind me is a tarp. So when I actually paint the boat, I want to try to figure out some way to have this tarp out. I got it nailed to my shed on one end, but I need to build some legs or figure something out for this side, because this hickory nut tree keeps dropping crap. Well, it keeps dropping crap and squirrels keep dropping crap out of it. So I don't want to go to all the trouble to paint this boat just to have trash all in it from this tree. So I need to build some kind of canopy for that. Hopefully I can get that done today too. All right, let's do it. How about this masterpiece? If that ain't a shoe-in to get me Homeowner of the Year award, I don't know what will. Hey, it's gonna work. Got the whole boat wet sanded down, and it's kind of dry. Looks dry enough. So I'm gonna go ahead and start taping off the inside, at least what I can. And this thing will be pretty close to ready to paint. I ain't gonna be able to do it today, probably not tomorrow, but I want to go ahead and get what I can done, because I'd like to get this thing painted early in the morning, like as soon as I get off work before the wind starts picking up. So do what we can, finish what we can later on. Alright, it looks kind of wonky, but I got it all taped off. Now, the only parts that's really important is right below that rail. And the rest of this, you know, like the top of this seat and the floor and all the front deck, it's going to be hydro turf, so I ain't worried about it too much. So only the gray parts that I painted the other day is what I'm really concerned about getting overspray on. And if I get a little overspray on it, it'll be easy to touch up. So I think this tape job is going to work, as ugly as it is. Now, what I have left to do is I'm going to wipe this whole thing down with grease and wax remover and then shoot it. Like I said, I'd like to do it today, but it's already 11:30 and I don't want to end up getting caught up messing with this thing and be too late, because I gotta work tonight. So I'm gonna hold off. Hopefully my makeshift paint booth slash lean-to will hold up until possibly Sunday. Like I said, I'll have my kids tomorrow, and I don't want to really fool with this while they're here. So Sunday should be a free day. It's not supposed to rain until Monday, so hopefully we can knock it out, and I'll see you then. Alright, it's Saturday, and I really don't have time to mess with this boat, but they're calling for rain Sunday, which is the day I wanted to paint it, and early in the morning too, so I'm worried my canopy might not hold up. Plus, it's supposed to be a little windier tomorrow, and I just don't know if I'll be able to get it done. So I'm gonna try to do it today. And first off is I got some grease and wax remover, and I'm gonna wipe down the whole boat. And with this stuff, you're really supposed to kind of wipe it on wet and then try to come back and then wipe it off. So let's knock that out, and then next step is to start painting. Alright, just to go over this real quick, I picked up this paint gun from Harbor Freight. It is the HVLP spray gun, professional. This isn't the purple gun. This is, they have like two purple guns. It's like, one of them's like 30 bucks, and I think they got one that's like 50 bucks. And I want to say this gun right here was on sale for $99. I've heard a lot of good reviews on the purple guns, as long as you know how to set them up. I don't know how to set them up. I'm not gonna lie. I haven't painted a car with a paint gun like this in probably 10 years, and it was just primer or flat black or satin black. So that being said, I wanted to get something maybe a little bit more user friendly, something with a little less customizing you got to do to make it to spray good. So that's why I went with this one. Of course, this is just the box. The paint. Now this is actually car paint that I'm using, and I hope it worked for this application. I didn't even research it if this is okay for aluminum. So if it doesn't, I'm sure somebody's out there screaming in the comments that I'm screwing up. But I went with hot rod flats urethane. I got 2 quarts, and I think that's going to be more than enough. I'm going to try to do maybe 3 coats. Do a coat, let it sit for 15 minutes. Another coat, 15 minutes, another coat, 15 minutes. Like I said, this is hot rod flat, so the color is supposed to be flat. I just thought that was a better option. This is an old boat. It's kind of beat up, so if you ever mess with cars or any kind of painting, the glossier the paint is, the more it'll show imperfections. So flat should hide some of these imperfections in this boat, and I'm kind of old school. I like flat paint. I just think it's cool. Of course, it comes with hardener. So it's just enough hardener to pour in here. I'm gonna mix it with a little stirring stick it came with, pour it right in the paint gun, and get to spraying. The gun, I think it says, calls for 45 psi. I went ahead and picked up a little inline dryer at Harbor Freight, and also I got a digital air gauge. So I'm gonna try to set it to what it's calling for, 45, and I'm gonna do a little bit of testing on a piece of cardboard, my fan, and get to spraying hopefully. Also, I'm using a 9-gallon pancake compressor for this and a 1/4 inch airline. Now none of that's recommended for spraying paint, but this is a 12-foot boat. I'm just doing the outside, so I'm hoping I'm going to be able to get by with it. They recommend to use at least 3/8 inch line and really big compressors. I've also watched a bunch of YouTube videos on people painting and getting by with these little pancake compressors, so fingers crossed that I'm not going to ruin this paint, because this stuff isn't very cheap. So that being said, let's get to it. All else fails, back to the drawing board, right? All right, last chance to guess the color. What you got? Ain't nobody guessed right yet. Let's do it. I got 1 coat on. It wasn't terrible, but I can definitely see where you don't want to use a compressor that small. It was struggling. And maybe a newer one. I think that one's 9-gallon. Don't get me the line, but I'm pretty sure it's a 9-gallon pancake compressor. It's got some leaks and stuff, so maybe a brand new one will work a little bit better. But I mean, I'm going to get by definitely doing this boat, but I would really suggest, after this little experimentation already, a bigger compressor will really help. Alright, I'm going to let this tack up for about 7 or 8 more minutes and go ahead and get coat number 2 on. Alright, you see behind me we have a orange boat. Not just orange, but Hugger orange. This is Hugger orange paint. I'm kind of surprised no one guessed orange. Orange is my favorite color. I am a Tennessee fan, but as you can see, Tennessee orange is not Hugger orange. Hugger orange is actually my favorite color. If you've never heard of Hugger orange before, it's a GM color. They put it on a lot of the old muscle cars and some trucks too. Back in the late 60s. I'm not exactly sure what year they debuted the Hugger orange, but I know it ran into the early 70s. But anyways, that's what I decided to go with a boat. I'm sure a lot of people probably think it's ugly. Orange isn't that big of a favorite color for people, but this is my boat. I'm keeping this boat, and I wanted to paint it Hugger orange. I want to go to the trouble of trying to paint a boat like this, and I wanted to do my favorite color. Why not? I'm going to let it set up for the rest of the day. Like I said, it's supposed to be raining tomorrow. I might get out here real early and knock all this down and take that tape off. Don't want to get that tape too wet. It might leave a little residue, which I use painter's tape, so it shouldn't be too big of a problem. But I don't know if you can tell or not, but it is freaking hot. I probably complained in some videos earlier this year about building a boat when it's cold. I think I'd much rather build a boat in my garage with it being 30 degrees outside versus it being 100 degrees building a boat outside. Anyways, that is it for today. Like I said, I will come out here tomorrow, take all this crap off, hopefully find a window when it's not raining, and you know, show you guys what it looks like. I can't really tell now. It's going to have a lot of orange peel, I know. Not getting any clear on it. It's just going to be just, you know, like a single stage paint. We'll do a little unveiling tomorrow. Hopefully it won't be 100 degrees. We'll see you then. Alright, I took my redneck paint booth canopy down and untaped the boat. And so we have us an orange boat now. I'm happy the way it turned out. I ended up doing 4 coats. I ended up getting 2 coats out of that 1 quart, and I wanted to do at least 3, so I went ahead and mixed up the 2nd quart I had, and it was so much left that I went ahead and put 4 coats of paint on the boat. Happy with the way it turned out. I think it looks pretty good. It's nothing special, but there's really, you know, I'm not trying to build this boat to be nothing special, so just a throw in the back of your truck boat. But like I said in the very first video, I'm gonna try to pimp it out a little bit, you know, try to play around with some things. And this is one of the main things I wanted to try and do, is paint a boat with a paint gun, and it worked out pretty good. I'll say you can paint a boat with a pancake compressor, but I would not recommend it. It struggled to keep up. The first coat I did, I just kind of did the whole thing at once, and then the next few coats, what I found out best to do is just do a section, let the compressor catch up, do another section, and so on. And it just gives you a better fan that way. It lets it have enough pressure built up to give you a better flow of paint. I'm glad I did it. You know, it was an experiment, and now I know I can do it. So if I ever want to paint some kind of crazy color on a boat, probably get another compressor, but I know I can do it with that gun. You know, I learned a few things while doing this boat, so I'll be ready, a little bit better prepared on the next one. Next step will be laying that hydro turf, and the rest of this build should go pretty smooth. I appreciate you guys watching. I'll see you on the next one. Y'all think that rain gonna wash off all that orange overspray I got on my driveway? Yeah, I don't think so either.